All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to break down the claims from a viral video that argues recent events in the Middle East have totally redrawn the world map, and it all supposedly starts with a mysterious present from Iran.
So this is the quote that kicks the whole thing off. Donald Trump says Iran gave the U.S. a very big present. Now, at the time, that remark left a lot of people scratching their heads, right? But the source video we're looking at today claims this wasn't just some off-the-cuff comment. It was a signal of a huge geopolitical shift.
Okay, so that's the big mystery, isn't it? What was this present? And more importantly, how in the world does it supposedly redraw the entire map of global power? Let's get into the argument the video makes.
First things first. The video says that to even begin to understand this new map, you have to look at who's sitting at the table to deal with the Iran situation. And let me tell you, the guest list, it's probably not who you think.
So, according to the source video, these are the countries calling the shots now. We're talking Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the other Gulf states, Egypt and Turkey. The video actually calls this group Trump's Board of Peace and argues it's an architecture he started putting together way back with the Abraham Accords. So, what's the proof for this new alliance? Well, the source points to a couple of things. First, reports that foreign ministers from these specific nations got together in Riyadh trying to figure out a diplomatic solution. And second, it highlights the fact that Pakistan actually went public and offered to host talks between the U.S. and Iran.
And the video claims this new diplomatic push is already working. It lays out this timeline of pretty significant events, right? It cites claims that the Lebanese government banned Hezbollah, then that the Palestinian Authority came out and condemned Iran, and now that Hamas is even thinking about disarming. The video basically uses all this to say, see, Iran is being boxed in.
Okay, so if those are the nations the source says are in, it makes a just as bold claim about who's been left out in the cold.
And this really gets to the heart of the video's argument. You see the new players on one side, and then look who's not at the table. The old guard, right? The UK, the EU, NATO. The source claims they are nowhere to be found in these critical talks.
And that just begs a massive question. I mean, for decades, these were the powers that ran the show in Middle East diplomacy. So what happened? Why, according to this video, are they suddenly warming the bench?
Well, the video has a pretty straightforward three-step logic for it. Step 1, it claims Europe went all in on what the source calls green and Russophobic energy policies. Step 2, because of that, they lost their access to critical oil and gas. And step 3, the big one, they lost their energy, so they lost their seat at the table. Simple as that, according to the source.
And to really hammer this point home, the video pulls out this pretty sharp quote from Kirill Dmitriev, who's the head of Russia's sovereign wealth fund. He basically said, Europe can finally enjoy the success of both its green and Russophobic agendas. No oil, no gas. Ouch.
So this leads to what the source calls a new energy geometry. The idea here is that while Europe was, in their view, weakening itself, two big energy players, the US and Russia, basically broke from the old rules. They're flexing their muscles as sovereign nations with a ton of energy, not tied down by what the video calls globalist mandates.
So how did Europe respond to this new reality, according to the video? It says Europe blinked twice. First, they suddenly fast-tracked a huge LNG deal with the US. And then they pulled a vote that would have banned Russian oil for good, blaming, you guessed it, current geopolitical developments. And, of course, the video connects all of this directly to the war in Ukraine. It argues that the fallout from this big shift is really starting to hit home for Ukraine's leaders.
The video points to this quote, which it attributes to the New York Times, where the Ukrainian president said he had a very bad feeling about how the Iran situation would affect Ukraine. And the video's take is, this isn't just about a distracted news cycle. It's about the entire foundation of support starting to crumble.
The core argument here is that Ukraine's biggest supporters, especially Europe and the UK, have just run out of steam. From the video's perspective, they don't have the energy leverage or the economic muscle. They don't have the cards left in their hand, you could say, to keep bankrolling the war in this new world.
So, all of this, the diplomacy, the energy politics, the conflict, it all builds up to the source video's grand finale, the big reveal of what it calls an entirely new world map.
So here it is. This is how the video defines the new world order it says is taking shape. It's a system where what matters is national sovereignty, having a real economy that actually produces stuff, and of course, controlling energy. It's a move away from what the video calls imperial management and those older globalist institutions.
And then the video lands its final punch. It says, hey, remember how everyone said Trump had no strategy? Well, it argues this new map says otherwise, that this was the plan all along.
And that's where we land. The whole argument of the source video is that Iran's present was the moment that changed everything, revealing this new world map, a map that it says is all about national sovereignty and pure energy power. And the final question it poses is a big one. What does this new map really mean for our future?